A single Starbucks cup is selling for $1,200 online, and customers are accusing employees of running an inside scam. The bear-shaped tumbler that was supposed to bring holiday joy has instead sparked accusations of theft, favoritism, and a rigged system that's leaving regular customers empty-handed while resellers cash in big time.
Pass me out in the Starbucks.
No, it's saying there's only one.
We're diving into how a cute seasonal cup turned into a full-blown controversy that has Starbucks scrambling to respond. You'll discover the employee schemes customers are exposing, the resale market that's spiraling out of control, and why this drama reveals something much bigger about how limited edition drops actually work.
There was $2 one because the employees started buying them for themselves.
The accusations keep getting worse, and what we've uncovered shows this isn't just about a cup anymore. Before we go further, quick question. Have you ever camped out or fought crowds for a limited edition item? Drop a comment with what it was, a sneaker drop, a concert ticket, or maybe even a previous Starbucks release. The psychology behind why we do this is wild, and it's exactly what companies are exploiting. Why did Starbucks think releasing a limited bear cup was a good idea in the first place? The answer traces back to Stanley's viral tumbler phenomenon that reshaped retail forever. When Stanley's Valentine's Day cups caused literal stampedes at Target stores in early 2024, every brand with a product development team took notice. If people would fight over a $45 water bottle, imagine what they do for collectible drinkware with cult brand appeal. Starbucks watched competitors rake in millions from artificial scarcity and decided to apply the formula to their seasonal merchandise. The Bear Cup wasn't just cute holiday decor, it was a calculated test of whether Starbucks could manufacture the same feeding frenzy Stanley had mastered. They limited quantities, teased the release on social media, and watched as the predictable chaos unfolded. The strategy worked too well. This wasn't Starbucks' first rodeo with limited edition merchandise, so what made the Bear Cup controversy explode? The design featured a three-dimensional bear hugging the cup with removable accessories, creating an unusually giftable and Instagram-worthy product that transcended typical coffee merchandise. Parents saw adorable holiday gifts for kids, collectors saw investment potential, and resellers saw dollar signs, a perfect storm of demand. But the real accelerant was the rollout strategy itself. Starbucks provided minimal stock to individual stores, often just 6 to 12 units per location, while simultaneously promoting the cup across their massive social media channels to millions of followers. They created demand for thousands while supplying for dozens. It's like advertising a concert to a stadium, but only printing 50 tickets. The math was destined to disappoint, and customers felt intentionally baited. Within hours of the Bear Cup's release, resale listings flooded eBay, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace, with prices ranging from $200 to over $1,500. Sellers weren't shy about their tactics either. Some posted photos of entire collections, 10 or 15 cups lined up like trophies, bragging about their investment strategy, while regular customers struck out at every store they visited. The resale ecosystem revealed something disturbing about modern consumer culture. Professional resellers, armed with store opening schedules and insider connections, treated the cup drop like a sneaker release or concert ticket sale. They deployed teams to multiple locations, used bots to monitor inventory systems, and coordinated through private Discord channels to maximize their haul. One reseller on TikTok casually mentioned clearing out 3 stores in a single morning, pocketing over $4,000 in projected profit. Meanwhile, parents hoping to surprise their kids for the holidays were left staring at empty shelves. The real controversy erupted when customers started sharing security footage and receipts that suggested employees were involved in the scheme. Multiple viral posts showed Starbucks workers allegedly purchasing entire shipments before stores even opened, with some transactions timestamped at 5 or 6 in the morning, hours before regular customers could access the merchandise. Former employees came forward with stories that painted a troubling picture of internal corruption. One barista from Arizona revealed that her manager had explicitly told staff they could hold one for themselves, but that several employees were secretly stashing multiple cups in back rooms and break areas. Another worker admitted that team members at her store created a group chat specifically to alert each other when shipments arrived, giving them first dibs before inventory even hit the sales floor. Customers weren't just competing against other shoppers anymore, they were unknowingly racing against a rigged system where insiders had already won. Real people shared their frustration in ways that reveal how deeply this controversy cut. A mum in Texas posted a tearful video explaining how she'd promised her daughter the Bear Cup after seeing it advertised on Starbucks Instagram, only to visit 7 different locations and find every single one sold out within minutes of opening. Another customer documented calling ahead to a store, being told they had stock, then arriving 20 minutes later to discover employees had already purchased everything. The stories got more bizarre from there. One woman in Florida claimed she witnessed a Starbucks shift supervisor literally running to her car with a bag full of Bear Cups during her break, loading them into her trunk before returning to work her shift. Another customer recorded a conversation where a barista admitted they were not allowed to sell the remaining cups because they were being held for unnamed individuals. These weren't isolated incidents, they represented a pattern happening across hundreds of stores nationwide. When customers are doing everything right and still losing, something's fundamentally broken. If you're finding this as infuriating as these customers did, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming investigation into other retail controversies where employees are gaming the system. We're exposing patterns you need to know about. Starbucks initially stayed silent as the accusations mounted, but pressure from social media and news coverage eventually forced a response. Their official statement emphasized that employees purchasing merchandise follows the same policies as any customer and that no rules were technically broken. Translation, they acknowledged the problem exists but claimed their hands were tied by their own policies. Here's where it gets interesting. Starbucks' employee purchase policy has always allowed workers to buy merchandise, but it never anticipated a scenario where merchandise was this limited and this valuable. The policy was designed for everyday items like mugs and tumblers that had plenty of stock, not hyper-limited releases that sold out in literal minutes. Critics pointed out that Starbucks created the scarcity problem, profited from the hype, then hid behind technicalities when customers complained about unfair access. One retail analyst described it as manufacturing a crisis, then claiming innocence when the crisis unfolds exactly as designed. Brutal, but accurate. Starbucks didn't just miscalculate demand, they deliberately engineered scarcity as a marketing weapon. Industry insiders estimate that Starbucks could have easily produced 10 times the number of Bear Cups they actually released, but flooding the market would have killed the frenzy and the free publicity that came with it. Every viral TikTok of someone hunting for the cup, every news article about the chaos, and every resale listing served as unpaid advertising worth millions. The strategy has a dark side that extends beyond disappointed customers. When brands intentionally create shortages, they're essentially outsourcing their marketing to desperation and FOMO while taking zero responsibility for the consequences. Employees who bent rules felt justified because the company created an environment where a $25 cup could pay their rent. Resellers who cleared shelves saw an opportunity the company deliberately manufactured. Starbucks got the hype, the social media engagement, and the sellout success story, while customers and low-wage workers absorbed all the ethical fallout. That's not accidental, it's the business model. TikTok and Instagram transformed the Bear Cup from a product into a cultural phenomenon that fed on itself. Influencers with millions of followers posted Bear Cup haul videos, unboxing content, and hunt vlogs that algorithmically promoted the scarcity to wider audiences. Each video triggered thousands more people to join the search, creating exponential demand that no supply chain could satisfy. But social media also became the primary evidence locker for the scam allegations. Customers started using hashtags like #StarbucksScam and #BearCupGate to compile screenshots of suspicious employee purchases, compare notes on store policies, and organize collective action. One viral thread documented over 40 separate incidents across different states where employees were allegedly involved in hoarding or early purchasing. The platforms that helped create the frenzy became the same tools exposing the system's flaws. When your marketing strategy relies on viral chaos, don't be surprised when the chaos turns against you. The collector community has split into two distinct camps with completely opposite strategies. One group is playing the long game, holding on to their Bear Cups as investments, betting that prices will climb even higher as the controversy fades and genuine scarcity kicks in. They're treating these cups like limited edition sneakers or vintage toys, storing them in pristine condition and waiting for the right moment to cash out years down the line. The other camp is doing something more interesting. They're organizing boycotts and returning their cups en masse to make a statement. Several collector groups on Reddit coordinated return days, where members simultaneously brought bare cups back to Starbucks stores, overwhelming locations with refund requests and forcing corporate to acknowledge the backlash. Some are even donating cups to children's hospitals or charity auctions, deliberately tanking resale values to punish the flippers who created the shortage. It's consumer activism meets collector culture, and it's actually working to shift the narrative. Digging into Starbucks employee handbook reveals loopholes that essentially legalize the behavior customers are calling scams. Partners, Starbucks' term for employees, are technically allowed to purchase merchandise during their shifts, as long as they complete a transaction and don't interfere with customer service. The policy contains zero language about limited releases, purchase limits for employees, or restrictions on reselling company merchandise for profit. Here's the kicker that most people missed. Starbucks employees get a 30% discount on merchandise, meaning workers who bought bare cups at $17.50 could flip them for $500 to $1,000 within hours. The company created a system where low-wage baristas earning maybe $15 an hour could make more from one cup sale than a full day's wages. When you structure incentives this poorly, you're not dealing with a few bad apples. You're dealing with predictable human behavior in a broken system. Multiple employment law experts have suggested this creates a conflict of interest that Starbucks should have addressed before launching high-demand, limited items. Why do otherwise rational people lose their minds over a decorative cup they'll probably use twice? Behavioral economists call it the scarcity principle. When something becomes rare, our brains automatically assign it higher value, regardless of its actual utility. Starbucks weaponized this cognitive bias by combining limited availability with social proof from influencers, creating a psychological perfect storm where people needed the cup not because they wanted it, but because everyone else wanted it. The phenomenon gets even more fascinating when you factor in loss aversion, the proven tendency for humans to feel the pain of missing out more intensely than the pleasure of acquiring something. Studies show we'd rather avoid losing $50 than gain $50, even though the monetary value is identical. Starbucks customers weren't just chasing a cute bear cup, they were desperately trying to avoid the regret and social embarrassment of missing the thing everyone was talking about. One psychology professor described it as manufactured emotional urgency, and it works every single time companies deploy it. Starbucks isn't pioneering this mess, they're copying a playbook that's exploded across retail in the past few years. Target faced nearly identical accusations during their Valentine's Day Stanley Cup release, when employees were caught on camera purchasing entire carts of inventory before stores opened. Ulta Beauty dealt with a scandal where workers hoarded limited edition makeup collaborations, and GameStop employees notoriously held back rare collectibles for themselves or friends. The pattern reveals something systemic about how retail handles scarcity in the social media age. Companies generate hype without implementing basic fairness controls like purchase limits for employees, online reservation systems, or transparent allocation policies. They benefit from the chaos, while frontline workers take the blame for exploiting obvious loopholes. Disney faced backlash for the exact same issue with limited edition pins and merchandise at their parks. When major corporations across completely different industries are all fumbling the same problem the same way, it stops being a coincidence and starts looking like willful negligence. The Bear Cup fiasco is doing something more dangerous to Starbucks than any single product failure. It's eroding the carefully cultivated third-place brand identity the company spent decades building. Starbucks positioned itself as a community hub where everyone belongs, but this controversy exposed a two-tier system where insiders get access and regular customers get excuses. Brand perception surveys taken after the incident showed a measurable drop in trust metrics, particularly among parents and long-time rewards members who felt betrayed. What makes this particularly damaging is the demographic it's alienating. The people most upset aren't casual customers, they're the loyal base who visit multiple times per week, participate in seasonal promotions, and actually buy the overpriced merchandise. When you disappoint your most engaged customers in favor of resellers and opportunistic employees, you're essentially trading long-term loyalty for short-term viral marketing. Several retail analysts have noted that Starbucks stock took a minor hit during peak controversy, and competitor chains like Dunkin' used the moment to position themselves as more customer-friendly alternatives. The Bear Cup generated headlines, but it also generated genuine brand damage. Lawyers specializing in consumer protection have started examining whether Starbucks' handling of the Bear Cup release violates any false advertising or deceptive marketing statutes. The core legal question is whether promoting a product to millions while knowingly providing insufficient supply constitutes bait-and-switch tactics. While Starbucks never explicitly guaranteed availability, their social media campaigns created reasonable expectations that turned out to be false for the vast majority of customers. The employee angle opens even murkier legal territory. Some employment attorneys argue that allowing workers to profit significantly from inside knowledge of inventory creates a conflict of interest that companies have a duty to prevent. If an employee knows exactly when a shipment arrives and buys it before customers can access it, are they using proprietary business information for personal gain? A class action lawsuit would be difficult to win, but it's not impossible, especially if discovery reveals internal communications showing Starbucks understood the problem and chose inaction. The company's vague response and policy loopholes might protect them legally while still confirming everything customers suspected. The Bear Cup disaster is forcing Starbucks and other retailers to completely rethink how they handle limited releases. Some industry insiders predict we'll see a shift toward online-only drops with verified account limits, similar to how sneaker brands now use apps with purchase verification to combat bots and resellers. Others believe retailers will abandon artificial scarcity altogether after watching customer goodwill evaporate over products that cost pennies to manufacture. What's more likely is a hybrid approach that nobody will love but everyone will tolerate. Expect to see employee purchase restrictions during launch windows, transparent communication about exact quantities available, and possibly even lottery systems for high-demand items. Target has already implemented some of these changes after their Stanley Cup chaos. The era of showing up at store opening and hoping for the best is probably over, but whether the replacement systems will actually be fairer or just create new frustrations remains to be seen. Companies have proven they'll sacrifice customer satisfaction for viral moments, and until that calculation changes, we're stuck in this mess. Strip away the cute bear design and viral TikToks, and this controversy exposes something uncomfortable about modern consumer behavior. We've reached a point where people will camp overnight, fight strangers, and spend rent money on mass-produced items that serve no practical purpose beyond social media clout. The Bear Cup isn't special because of its function. It's special because scarcity was engineered and everyone agreed to participate in the illusion. But here's the twist that nobody wants to acknowledge. Customers enable this cycle every single time. When we reward artificial scarcity with our attention, our money, and our obsessive hunting behavior, we're telling companies that manipulation works. Every sold-out product becomes market research, proving that scarcity drives demand better than quality ever could. Until consumers collectively decide to stop playing the game, brands will keep manufacturing these crises because the return on investment is simply too good. The Bear Cup saga isn't an aberration, it's a preview of retail's future, and we're all funding it one limited edition purchase at a time. So where does this leave us with the Starbucks Bear Cup drama? What started as a cute holiday product turned into a full-blown exposé of how modern retail exploits scarcity, rewards insider access, and prioritizes viral moments over customer fairness. We've seen employees gaming broken policies, resellers making thousands while regular customers walked away empty-handed, and a corporation hiding behind technicalities instead of addressing systematic problems they deliberately created. The accusations of scams aren't exaggerations, they're accurate descriptions of a system working exactly as designed, just not for the people it claims to serve. From the artificial scarcity that manufactured desperation to the policy loopholes that turned low-wage workers into opportunistic resellers, to the social media amplification that transformed a cup into a status symbol. Every piece of this controversy reveals the dark side of limited edition culture. Here's what you need to remember. This won't be the last time a major brand pulls something like this. The next viral product drop is already being planned, probably at a company you trust, using the exact same playbook. The question is whether enough customers will recognize the manipulation and refuse to participate, or whether we'll keep feeding the beast every time scarcity gets manufactured and FOMO gets weaponized. If you want to stay ahead of these retail controversies and learn how to spot manufactured scarcity before you get caught up in the frenzy, make sure you're subscribed. We're tracking the next wave of limited drops and exposing the patterns companies don't want you to see. The Bear Cup drama might be dying down, but the tactics behind it are only getting more sophisticated. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional legal, financial, or consumer advice. If you're dealing with purchase disputes, employee misconduct, or potential fraud, consult with a qualified attorney or consumer protection agency in your jurisdiction.